Hi guys, it's Lara. Thanks for watching and welcome back to my channel. So today I have for you a Quinotto recipe. Quinotto is basically something like risotto, but it's made with quinoa. And here is what the Quinotto looks like that we are going to cook today. There are different veggies and there's also fresh cilantro. It's so delicious. You can eat this as a main dish or as a side dish. And if you want to know how I cook my Quinotto, then please keep watching. Here we have the ingredients for my Quinotto. So I'm gonna use 1 onion. I personally prefer red onions. Then I will use 1 rather smaller potato, 1 medium-sized carrot, 1 also probably medium-sized sweet potato. Then I have here several brown mushrooms and a few branches of cilantro. And this is the quinoa I'm gonna be using. So this is kind of like 3 types of quinoa mixed. And it says here I'm supposed to cook it for about 15 minutes. First, I took the sweet potato. You can see that I already peeled it. And I started chopping it. For my Quinotto, I personally prefer the veggies being chopped in rather smaller pieces. Next, I chopped the carrot again in smaller pieces. As a next step, I chopped the onion. And then the tomato. My cutting board was already full, so I put all the veggies into a glass dish. And then I continued with the mushrooms. I cut the mushrooms into thin slices. Once I was done, I put the mushrooms in the very same dish where I put the other veggies so that my cutting board would be empty. And I very finely chopped the few branches of fresh cilantro. For the Quinotto, I personally like using a non-sticky pan. I turned the heat on and I heated up about 2 tablespoons of coconut oil. I threw in all the veggies, including the mushrooms. I let them cook shortly from one side and then I started tossing them back and forth. I seasoned the veggies with a little bit of cumin. I think it was about 1/4 teaspoon. Next, I added about 1 full teaspoon of mushroom spice, which is basically a bit of salt, a few herbs, and dried mushrooms. I added about 1/2 teaspoon of paprika powder. And then I went in with a little bit of Italian herbs, which contain basil, marjoram, oregano, thyme, and rosemary. And I think it was in total about 1/2 teaspoon. And then I stirred everything and tossed all a little bit more. I added about 1/2 cup of crushed red lentils for additional protein. You could use beans. I personally like adding lentils and especially crushed lentils because they cook way faster. And then I added 1 teacup of the quinoa, which equals 2 measuring cups. I stirred all for about a minute. And then I went in with water. So first I added 2 measuring cups of water. I stirred all properly and I made sure that the quinoa would be covered in water so that it could soak up the moisture. But I also made sure that all the veggies and the quinoa wouldn't be swimming like a soup. I reduced the heat, then I covered the pan with a lid and let it cook for about 5 minutes. Once the 5 minutes were up, I stirred all again, and then I added about 1 additional measuring cup of water. When I added the water, obviously I stirred everything again, and then I covered the pan again with the lid and let it cook for about 3 additional minutes. And then I repeated the entire procedure. So basically I kept adding water and stirring all until the quinoa was properly cooked. And according to the packaging, the quinoa should cook for about 15 minutes. I think I cooked everything for about 18 minutes in total until I was happy with the consistency. Once I made sure that the lentils were already soft, I salted the Quinotto with organic veggie soup powder, which is personally my favorite way to salt dishes, but you could use instead just a regular salt like Himalaya salt or herbal salt, or coconut aminos or an organic soy sauce. As a last step, I added the fresh chopped cilantro and I stirred it into my Quinotto. And then my Quinotto was done. If you want to add an additional flavor, and maybe you just went vegan, or you simply sometimes miss a certain taste from before you went vegan and you would like to have a little bit of a cheesy aroma, you can always add to your Quinotto or to your risotto nutritional yeast. Now, if you haven't seen nutritional yeast yet, this is what it looks like. It's these yellowish little flakes, and that's exactly what adds to vegan dishes this typical cheesy aroma similar to Parmesan cheese or Grana cheese without the animal cruelty. And another upside is that it has 3 B vitamins, vitamin B1, vitamin B2, and vitamin B6. And it has also several minerals that are very beneficial for your health. So now let's have a bite. It's so yummy. Now obviously if you are not fond of mushrooms, you can leave the mushrooms out and you could add any other veggies that you like, for example bell pepper or I don't know, okra, something like that. But I love mushrooms so much, so they can't be missing. And the mushroom spice that I used also puts an emphasis on the mushroom taste. It's just wonderful. Anyway, one of the things that I love about quinoa is that quinoa is quite high in protein. The quinoa that I have used today has 12 gram protein in 100 gram of the product, which is wonderful. And since I also added lentils, then this dish is also quite high in protein. And if any one of you is gluten intolerant, this is a wonderful alternative to couscous. And for me personally, it's a great alternative to rice, because as much as I love rice, I don't want to eat rice all the time. I eat rice very often, but sometimes I just don't want to eat it anymore. I want something else. And in that case, quinoa is perfect. So that's it for today. I hope that you guys enjoyed today's video. If that was the case, you know what to do. You can give my video a thumb up because you support my channel a lot with this little action. You can also subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. And as usual, I have listed and linked down below a lot of stuff that might be either interesting or useful for you. So thank you all so much for watching. I love you guys so much and see you soon. Bye!